Hi, it's RJ from Ellis Family Motorcycle and ATV Repair, and we're about ready to do our service on our John Deere Z540M. But I want to take the time out to talk a big concern about with small engines, a huge concern, and that is air filters. Now these Kawasaki motors are a little bit, it's kind of a little bit of a bad air filter design in the first place, where they get the air. But you got to think of an engine just like you. Now think about if you had to breathe all this in, and how well you would feel and run afterwards. You wouldn't run very well. There is paper underneath this foam, and it will, it stops it from going into the paper to a certain extent, but a person needs to be taking this foam off as many times as you need to in the year to keep it clean. If you don't, that dirt is going to get in the motor, and it's got a one-way trip right to your piston and your rings. And it's a really easy way to start having a lawnmower starting to smoke and use oil when it's sucking in nothing but dirt. Now these outer foam filters aren't generally too much, $5-6, and you get you another foam. Generally, I would order, 2 of them. And when you see one's dirty, you're in a hurry, you want to go mow your yard, you got another one there, slip it on, hang the other one up on the shelf when you go in the house and whatnot. Take that and wash it out in warm water and Dawn dish soap, or they do make a foam filter cleaner that we use with the ATVs and the motorcycles. It cleans it up really nice. It comes from Bel-Ray's foam filter cleaner. I'll try to leave a link in the below to clean it. But that's how I do it. I order a couple of them, and then they'll save you on a paper. You might better make a paper last you at least 2 years, maybe. Personally, for the price of them, I always change mine out anyway. But if you were trying to save a little bit of money, you could possibly, if you looked at the paper, kind of looked at it and blew it out and whatnot, you probably could save yourself some money by just putting on this styrofoam one. Now I'll show you here in this here box, in this one, kind of a little bit of the problem on this is the grass just kind of sits in there, just kind of builds up. This one's pretty bad. This one's all built right up on there. That's not good. It's only there's not getting nowhere from the bottom because they stuff it in the casing there. And it's not really getting any air from the top. It's cutting its air off by half, just the way it is, and then with all the dirt on top of it. And this will grenade this motor, 100%. No doubt in my mind, will grenade that motor. So, with that said, that's where we're on that. I was going to turn this into just one video of just air filter, but it doesn't look like it's going to go long enough. So, let's go ahead and do our service on this lawnmower. I'll show you how to change the engine oil and the air filter on this one. Alright, so let's start with the engine oil. Let's get that draining while we're talking. But move the seat out of the way. That'll get you in there. Let me get you flipped around. That'll help. So way down in here is the drain plug. No wrenches needed on this one, which is kind of nice considering they generally put them in a nice spot, and they actually put a hole right where it's going to drain, sort of, because most tractor companies can't seem to figure out to put a hole where their drain plug's at, or put a hose where it's supposed to go. It generally drains all over the frame. And then right above that is the oil filter. Now that's gonna probably make a mess all over the floor. Look, I did the service on it last year, and you can turn it off with your hand, just like you're supposed to. Alright, so that's off. I'm gonna sit you guys down for a minute and go get a rag to clean that up. Alright, so we got that oil filter off, and got a little bit more dripping on that pan deal. Got our new oil filter. We're using Oregon 83283. It's a pretty big, pretty nice filter. And we're gonna put a little fresh oil. It goes on the seal evidently, but I set it right there because if you try to put it on the seal, all you do is squirt it off. So get that on there. Get your finger on there. And put a new seal on, or oil on that seal. And hand tight. Clean it all off. Now while we're down here and waiting for the oil to drain, don't need that sitting here in the way. We're going to change this fuel filter. 2 clamps here. And this is a cool little Lyle tool. Tube, hose, gets all apart. Most of the time I take it, this has got a little bit of a groove onto it. I open that up and I pry these open, and then you sit it in there and pry that off. Makes it a whole lot easier than trying to fight with it. That's what that's for, fuel line. Alright, so there's a directional layer on your fuel filters. The arrow is the way the fuel flows. So it's got to come from the gas tank, and it's going up to the carburetor, or to the fuel pump. So arrow's got to go this way. This one is coming from the fuel pump, or from the fuel tank. Just like so. Clamps on. Just like so. Still got a little bit of oil down here. Just seen it. There's that. Alright, it's still draining oil down there, so we're going to come over here and we're going to change this filter. Maybe. So we don't want to get any grass down in this boot here. So I'm gonna have to be very careful. Keep our hand over top of it, especially with the wind out here. Horrible design. I don't know what. Kawasaki's a good motor. I don't know what they're thinking on this design of this air filter. So anyway, there you go. Now you can put foam filter oil on this filter if you want to, or you can leave them dry. I think they actually recommend them dry. There you go. I gotta make sure that it's straight in there. And tighten up this clamp. There you go. Put that cover back on. And put our plug back in for oil. Alright, I gotta go get our jug of oil. I forgot to grab it. Be right back. Alright, now we're gonna change or fill this up with oil. For dipstick. Now you can buy just John Deere oil, but they're going to recommend you to use probably John Deere 30 weight and a Japanese motor, which I've never understood that. Because Kawasaki, if you buy this motor from Kawasaki, they're going to recommend either 1030 or 1040 motor engine oil. So I guess I'm going to go off what Kawasaki says, not what John Deere says. But we're going to save a little money and not get John Deere stuff. We're just going to go with a 30 weight here. Alright, it is okay to run a car oil in these because it's just an engine. It's no transmission with it. Alright, we want to start our mower up and let it run for a minute. I don't know if I can do this one-handed or not because these chokes. So there you have it. That's how you do an oil change on your mower. Should at least do it either twice a year or at least once a year. At least once a year. All depends on your yard that you're doing. I think they recommend every 100 hours, I think, to change the engine oil on it. It can't hurt. Lawnmowers run in dirt and whatnot, and that's what kills them, is all that dirt and dust. But yeah, we bring them in here. The first thing I always do is I gently power wash them. I generally, it's my least favorite thing to do is lift them up and scrape the deck and sharpen the blades. Check all the belts while I got it up in the air. Grease it all, and then I go to the engine oil and change oil, the oil filter, the fuel filter, air filter, and whatnot. Transmission filters, we don't get them every year. Generally about every other year. Pretty much all the transmission filters are about 200 hours. So you generally can get 2 years out of them. That's a little bit of a better system there because it's a closed loop system, so there's a little bit more forgiveness there on that. You just have the idea of the oil breaking down underneath the heat. But you got a little bit more, you're not taking out dirt generally out of that system. Every mower is a little bit different. Some are easier, some are harder. I do have to say that this John Deere is probably one of the easier ones to do, even though they got a lot of stupid designs. If you watch the deck video, I don't like how John Deere includes their belts. I think keeping all the grass around those belts is a bad deal, considering John Deere belts are generally $100 or more and whatnot. So I don't think that is such a great deal. I don't like the stamp deck. But this is on the lower end of, this is just a home motor zero turn. It's not a commercial one. Even though some people might think it's a commercial one, it is not. This one, it's only got 200 and some hours on it now. So, but I don't want the video go too long. I'm going to try to leave the links below of all the stuff that we use, from the deck gauge to the oil, and the tools that we use to do this oil change. And I'll probably try to link the oil and oil filter and stuff down below. Those links do help the shop. We would appreciate it if you use them. A little bit helps the shop out so we can do videos. It would be nice to get a little bit better equipment so we can do these videos a little bit better. And so those links help out the shop, and we greatly appreciate it. It doesn't cost you any more to use the link. It might take maybe a little bit more of your time, but we sure would appreciate it here. But with that said, hope everybody has a wonderful day, and stay safe and keep on wrenching.